Okay, we're gonna try this. It is someday. It is Monday. We are live. And we are going to be making a right fool out of ourselves with attempting to paint something that I've never drawn before. So this should be interesting. We are working on a 6x6 canvas. It's a thick boy. And it's probably going to end in disaster. It's probably going to be a hot mess. But we're going to try. We're going to try. We'll see how this goes. We're going to attempt to paint a seagull. We're going to be using acrylic paint, acrylic craft paint, because that's what I've got. And that's what fits the budget right now, so. But first we have to figure out how we're going to draw this guy. And I'm just not sure. I found a reference image on Unsplash from, I don't know how to pronounce this guy's name, Silamon Raymond. He's French, so I probably butchered that entirely, but he's on Unsplash. And they have a lot of royalty. Most of the stuff's royalty free on there. Some stuff you do have to have a subscription for. They've started that now. Or if it has a little plus in the corner, you have to like pay to be able to download the photo and stuff. So this was just a basic photo on there. We're gonna try this. I'm nervous this isn't going to go well, but we'll see what happens, I guess. And if she ends up being a fail, then she ends up being a fail. So I was trying to pull up my copy. So it's kind of like a triangular shape. Kind of. That's probably not quite right. I think I went a little too deep on my well, over a little far. Right, because we have to have room for our beak. So oh boy, this is gonna be so terrible. Oh gosh. No, 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 no. Like, I can kind of see it in my head, kind of, but my head and my hand don't really communicate all that well together. So next, a little bit of a thick boy. See, this is where I'm like kind of running into trouble, because feel like I'm not giving myself enough room for my beaky boy. Kind of have a little curvy here. Probably making the beak way too long. And I kind of wanted my beak to be open. It's got a little bit of like a claw point on there. Okay, and it's kind of a like a cone. Oh gosh, this is terrible. But I kind of want to attempt it. Husband's like, you should. I'm like, this is gonna be bad. He goes, so what? So it's kind of, it kind of doesn't come down much. Actually, it doesn't like come in very much. I mean, we can bring it in a little bit. I'm not liking this eraser on this canvas though. It's just making a mess. It's just making a mess. Ew, why is this one sticky? That is a good question. I need to get some more kneaded erasers. So this is a 6x6 canvas that I had picked up on clearance a while back. I figured it was probably time to use this guy. Alright, he's not doing too bad. I'm not trying to erase the whole thing. I'm just trying to lighten this just a bit because it got a little dark on us. I mean, I needed it to be a little bit dark. So that we could see what the heck we were doing here. I want to make sure I get most of my other lines out of here so I don't confuse myself. He actually has a bit of a neck on him. I think we might have gone too big. He doesn't come out too far. Kind of take him that way. Now his butt kind of cuts off there. And we've got a leggy kind of here. And they kind of have these like sticky kind of legs. They're not very thick. And then this leggy's actually not even that far. Alright, I was originally going to have him standing on something, but I've kind of run out of room here, so I guess we won't be doing that. That's okay. This might be ambitious enough for our first attempt on this guy. That's actually kind of loose there. If that'll help firm that up a little bit as it dries. We'll see. Say the desk probably needed a spritz anyway. Alright. So we got it inadvertently. So our eye here, how do I want to do our eye? Don't know. Let me see. It's kind of that is like way too big. I don't know, maybe it's not so bad. It definitely doesn't look right, but let's see. There's like a little bit of an extension here. And then there's a little bit of white there. And there's a little bit of well, we'll try to figure it out. Let's see. Now in here there's kind of a bit of a section. Almost kind of looks like a triangular bit of, not necessarily a saddle, but similar. Similar kind of and I kind of that coming down into there. Yeah, we'll see how this goes. Alright. We'll see. Like one of the derpiest seagulls ever. And I'm sure the husband will ridicule me for it. The derpiest seagull ever. What?
No, I got
Oh, I thought you were in the chat.
not yet. Yes, can confirm. Derpy.
Sorry.
Whatever.
It's gonna be a derposaurus. There's not much I can do about that.
Huh? Hey, nothing wrong with that. This is the experiment after all.
I mean, considering it's the first time I've ever even tried to draw a seagull.
Yeah. I doubt I could do better, let me put it that way.
I'm sure you could. Alright, let me put my kneaded eraser away. I've got my erasers in a Ziploc so they don't get funky. These kneaded erasers just love the cat hair in this house. Something awful. Alright. So, I was going to put him on like a little... Well, I mean, we still might be able to have that. Kinda in the background a little bit. We just can't see his feeties. He's sitting on like a little pillar thingy. Okay. Put that pencil over there. Alright, so I'm gonna try to do a base wash on this, but the plastic doesn't want to open easily on our bottle here. Alright. So I wanted to use some of these paints because we haven't really gotten into too many of these colors yet. So this is Red Spice. Probably didn't need quite that much, but we'll see. Alright, I need a big guy here. Just so we can get some paint mixed in. It might not be enough paint to water ratio here. Alright. That is very orange. I thought that was more to the brown side. Surprise. Surprise! Alright, so this shouldn't take too terribly long to dry. Probably famous last words, but it'll definitely take less time than oil. That I can assure you. I don't know if I should do the back too. Like, this is probably going too far. Probably. At least this way, if I miss any spots, it won't be like bright white canvas glaring at me. Kind of the reasoning behind like doing a color key underpainting kind of thing when I do the tissue paper stuff. So that way, if I do have a gap somewhere that I miss, it's not like hugely in your face and it kind of like melts into the background. It's really hard to get those little tissue paper guys crammed up against each other super tight. So this was just a little bit of acrylic paint mixed into a little bit of water. Now, if we manage to finish this guy today, I don't know what we'll be doing next week. We might go more abstract, or we might pull the gouache out and go back to our Happy Little Trees project that I had been working on. Oh, okay. That was not quite dry yet. It's still a little shiny on that edge. I mean, does it matter so much on the edges? Probably doesn't matter as much on the edges. If we muss it up a little bit. Kind of surprised I haven't gotten a fingerprint in one of the edges yet here. Like at this stage, it doesn't matter as much. It'll matter more once we really get down to it here. But at this very moment, probably not so much. I mean, I could probably pull the heat tool out if we really needed to. So I got something splashed on this shirt that I'm wearing. I have no idea what it is, but it is stained everywhere. But this isn't a good shirt, so we're sort of saved in that respect. It used to be a good shirt. And then it started getting holes everywhere in it, which really pissed me off because it was, at the time, one of the most expensive t-shirts I've ever owned. It was one of those, like, UV color changing shirts. And it has stopped doing its color changing. And it's got holes everywhere on it, so I'm like, okay, you are definitely an around the house shirt now. I can still wear it, at least around the house. Like, at the very least. So it doesn't matter if it gets crap on it at this point. But it always amazes me when I see people filming like YouTube shorts and you can see how nice their sleeves are, or when they're doing like painting videos, and it's like, oh my gosh, how are you painting in something that looks that good? That would be an outside of the house shirt for me. Maybe I'm the weird one that only has specific clothes that they are willing to wear when they are doing RD things. Like the needle felting doesn't matter so much because we're not using paint, but when we're straight up painting, it gives me such anxiety to see people wearing nicer stuff, and I'm just like, oh my god, I could never. But I'm also a bit of a klutz when it comes to that. So I don't know, maybe it's just a me weirdness, but like, oh no. No, 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 no. Alright. Let me dry that guy off. Try to dry him off. Okay. Into the water cup we go. And I'm actually using a broken cup as my water dump cup because, as we can see, it magically decided to fall out of the cabinet and it smashed on the floor, and I was so mad because this was like my favorite hot chocolate mug that we had gotten when we were away last year. And we managed to find some of the pieces, and the husband found some kind of like, I think it was food safe um like mug cement or something. We couldn't find all the pieces, so I'm not going to drink out of it. So we decided to make it a paint water mug instead. And the mug is broken, so I have no worry of accidentally drinking it. I've done that exactly once, I think. I didn't swallow it, it hit my mouth, and I was like, oh no! And, that was gross. So I'm just kind of waiting on this to dry. Come here, Fuzz. Did I get you? I did. So it's probably just gonna take a minute. I mean, I could get the heat tool out and try to speed that along. Could. If I want to, but I could. Alright. So, do we have the room to pull out the heat tool right now? Let's see. I might. Then I have to worry about that touching things. Where is my heat tool anyway? That's a good question. It should be in the drawers right next to me. Not that drawer. Under it. No, that's all of our extra purpose lids. You're here somewhere. I know it because I purchased you. That's extra. That is the drawer of extra contact paper. Ah, here you are. Ha. Yes, found you. I've only used this guy once, so we'll see how it goes. Where do I hold it again? Got a little stand on him. Okay. Okay. Alright, I'm gonna mute the mic for this because I can't remember how loud it gets. That's not funny. Okay. It has like a burning smell to it. Was a cheaper heat gun. I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but it doesn't smell so great when you're using it. It makes me nervous. Didn't really feel like it had gotten quite that hot. So I might actually get a different one eventually. Alright, so I figure we'll do the background probably last. Alright, let me look at my reference photo here. I think we might start with the beak. So base of our beak is kind of like our golden yellow color, it looks like. Did I not? We were actually gonna have somebody come and look at the oven today, but husband forgot he's got his D&D game this afternoon, or like at 5:30. And we've had numerous appointments before where, for various reasons, things just took longer than they should have. And I think they were probably going to be here early enough where they would have been done and gone in time for that, but he just wanted to be like super, super sure. So we ended up moving it to tomorrow. So tomorrow during stream, there might be a little bit of conversation going on in the background at times. Well, that was way too much paint that I put out. Way too much. All right, let's see what we can do here. I probably have the hook on my beak a little too exaggerated. To be perfectly honest. So I kind of have to come back in with my white paint and like fix up where the feathers are gonna sit, where it kind of joins with the face there a bit. Like, this guy feels like he should be a little more toned down, honestly. Like, he does feel a little bright. But, oh well. It's gonna be that way now. I didn't pull out the little spot of orange, though. His beak's got a little smudgy. Of some orangeness happening. I should probably grab that. Although, I wonder what our background color and these two mixed together look like. Because that might be enough to add to it. Although that kind of looks like a bright bit of orange. On that beak. Actually, these two mixed together might be more of our beaky color. That looks a little bit more toned down. Than our super bright super bright beak there. Well, this does feel a little too orange now. Although maybe not. Alright. I mean, it's a little streaky. We can see my pencil line in there a little bit, but I think we'll be okay. Still haven't grabbed that orange. So the tip has like this little bit of like the lightest color. I was gonna use that, but where's my... Did I put that back? I thought I kept that. I must have put it back. Alright. Sorry, I had been fussing around pulling out different colors, and I had pulled out one shade of yellow. Thought I had kept it. Apparently I didn't. Alright, we're gonna put out just a drop of white. And I'm gonna try to get like a super barely tinted here. So the yellow I'm using is golden yellow. And we were using the Americana Deco Art paint, not sponsored in any way, shape, or form. The tip of his beak is just like slightly lighter. Like just ever so slightly. I probably did a little too much. Probably. Oh gosh, did that dry already? Seems like it. My my spice color mixed into just a little bit, well, a little bit of the spice color mixed into the golden yellow, just to kind of tone that down a little bit. That's a little better. That looks a little more reasonable. The bottom kind of covered instead of really blended. I just kind of want to rub these two together just a little bit. Just a little. Just get like some smudgy of like wear and tear on just our tip here. Alright, that is probably as good as I'm gonna get it. Still using that same towel. How about I rotate it a little bit? We have a clean spot to work with. So there's like a bright bit of almost like a freaking pumpkin orange on the tip of that. So I had used some of these paints to redo the underpainting on the tissue paper project. But I just opened the lid. I didn't pull the plastic off. Now I don't know which ones I actually used already. Like the tiniest amount needed here. Honestly, I kind of wanted to leave that out, but it is there. It's kind of just got this like smudgy of orange there for whatever reason. I don't know if that's a species thing on that one or what. Okay. So let's see. I've used this guy and I've used this guy. All right. Okay. So I don't need, but I'm going to use celery shoot for our eyeball. More fine guy. I don't know if this guy's gonna be quite fine enough. That's my problem, is I don't have enough super fine brushes, I feel like. Like I almost want brushes for painting miniatures. It's probably what I should get. Because we tend to work small so much. That's what I've got the room for. Like right now, the tissue paper project canvas is so big. It was kind of hanging out behind a door, behind the door to my mother-in-law's bedroom. But we didn't know how much she was going to be in and out of her room when she came back, so I kind of had to move it. So there's a little bit of our golden yellowy color. Kind of hanging out around the edge of our eyeball here. I probably should have made the title Attempting to Paint a Seagull, since we've never done this before. I mean, I know they can be annoying, and people tend to refer to them as rats with wings. I know this. I've experienced how annoying they can be. When we lived outside of Atlantic City, they were always around. And their cackling wasn't the greatest when you had a blinding migraine. But after moving to some place that's landlocked, I kind of miss them. I kind of miss them in their antics, to be perfectly honest. As ridiculous as that sounds. I feel bad I put way too much paint out. I've the paint was under $1 a bottle. I've got, or it was like just about $1 a bottle. I've got to relax. I'm not I'm not wasting that much paint. It feels like I am. I'm not. This is 100% a me issue. So we've got, where is it? I don't know, maybe there. Maybe it should have been up a little higher. Oh well, that's where ours is. There's a little bit of some black there. And we got a little bit of black there. And we do have a little bit of black. Kind of hanging out here. Probably should have like taken this off the edge, honestly. Like when I was sketching it out. So I always forget with feathers. They kind of like lay on top of each other. All right. Okay, so there's that. I need, well, we're gonna need more of this, so I might as well just write the bullet. Just put a larger amount of it out. Instead of working from this tiny dot that I've got going here. Alright, so we've got this might be too big of a brush. Like there's a little bit of white kind of on the bottom edge of that. And then it's kind of sitting on like the very bottom edge here. Kind of coming up. Like it's probably not going to be very super visible. All right. So where else do we have a little bit of, well, that's kind of sitting on top. All right. So right in here, got a little bit more. Some white tipped stuff. All right, give me 1 second. I need to find the husband. One moment. All right, sorry about that. And I probably should be going in this direction. No, I was getting nervous. I didn't know where you had gone. And I didn't know if you had like gone to Sam's or something.
No.
Are you okay?
Yeah, relatively.
All right. So, I mean, the white's not super transparent, but Like, one coat definitely didn't do it. Alright, so I'm actually going to thicken this up a little bit in here. And we'll we'll figure it out when I come back with the gray. Because I've got a bit of gray that's gonna end up popping into here. So I kind of have like a section of like darker gray and then a section of lighter gray. Alright, we're gonna go with the darker gray first. Do want to make sure I shake these really good because they were already a little separated before I had gotten them. But it just kind of looked like they just needed a good shake. That one tore like it had been a perforated edge to it. Come on. I can see I'm going to have to get out my scissors because I should just keep these handy for right now. Okay. So this is slate gray. That color that we used earlier was called Snow Titanium White. Okay. We might be done this guy. Well, we should be done this guy today. I don't know if we'll be done early. We might. I don't know though. I still kind of need to do the background and the edges and stuff. But yeah, I don't know what we'll do next week. Like we could maybe do one of the ones that I did in oil in acrylic. Just to see how differently I can do the two things. So it's kind of like a white line in between the two, but not exactly. So I'm just trying to figure out how far down. I want my dark gray to sit. Actually, both sections have some dark gray in it. If we're gonna get like super technical about it. What are you eating?
Sorry, water.
That was water? It sounded like you were eating something.
It was frozen.
Ah. Alright, so gonna bring our, hold on a second. Alright, sorry, we didn't know if that was gonna be the guys that were coming to look at our oven tomorrow. Calling us back about the fact that we made the appointment and then we're like, oh wait, we've got a thing. Late afternoon, early evening. And I kind of need dinner done before he has to do his thing. We're hoping that it's fixable. Hopefully it will be. Alright, so we'll bring this bit down into here. Alright, there's a little bit more white in this spot, but I kind of wanted to get this section popped in first. Alright, and then alright, let me rinse that. Grab a little bit more of our white here. Like, it's not like majorly discernible, but I kind of want to pop it in here. Along our edge. Oh, 1 second, you guys. Alright, sorry about that. And I need a lighter gray. This is Gray Sky. Make sure we get that guy shook up fairly well. Also, always during stream that phone rings off the hook. Some days. Other stream, like my non-stream days, that phone hardly rings. It's rather amazing. Some fuzzy friends. So those aren't going to help us very much. Alright, so let's see here. How far down do I want you to go? So this guy. Where down does the light section go? Kinda. Maybe here. Well, yeah, maybe to there. So these colors do dry a little bit darker. Or it could just be that I'm on a slightly darker background. And that could be what's really doing it. This is definitely going to be pretty derpy Seagull. Nothing really wrong with that, though. Can be a little derpy. I mean, it is the first time that I've tried drawing or painting a seagull, so I mean, in that regards, we're probably not doing too terribly bad here. He's kind of coming together. Kinda. I'd love to know where I keep getting this glitter on my hands from. Alright, I'm gonna get a little bit of cleaner water in here. Excuse me. Alright, so upper section needs his dark color pass here. And then we'll come back in with our lighter layer on top. So, I mean, as I'm putting it down, I can see where it's a little transparent, where I've got some of the wash color kind of trying to pop through there. And if that's going to bother you, then just throw a little bit more of your shade that you're currently working on there then. And that's all. Might need to give it just a minute to start drying, because the craft paint, if you try to layer it up too quickly while it's still wet, if you're not trying to like blend a color, you can actually start pulling the color that you're trying to put down up and just like pulling what's there up and just making it worse. So far, it's okay. Down here needed a little bit of darkening up. I mean, it's not terrible yet. Passable. The acrylic paint doesn't usually take too long to dry here. Usually. Alright. Is it gonna be like an exact match? No. No, no. It's not gonna be an exact match to our referencey guy. None of my stuff ever is. Not really that good at the realism aspect. But we try to make it something passable. Kinda, sorta. Alright. So I'm gonna grab our white paint now. Probably have to do a pass or two. Well, definitely a pass, but maybe a couple passes. On our birdie buddy here. I can see a bit of our undertone shining on through there. And I kind of expected to have to do at least a couple of passes on this guy. That's not really breaking news or anything. I've really got to remember to turn those Kindle notifications down or off. I mean, I could use a slightly larger brush, but this brush and I are vibing at the moment, so we are getting along. For the most part. All right. So we are not doing too bad here. This layer's a little messy. Just a little bit. Just trying to get my base pass done in here. Right, because that first pass is going to be a little messy, a little brush strokey. Now we'll start to smooth this guy out a bit. As best as I can. All right. So, figure out where we need to be here. I mean, right now he looks really deranged.
But you knew that was going to happen anyhow.
Well, it's because I'm working on getting this.
Just to let you know, I'm going to try to get the sandstone.
Okay. Don't forget to take our walker out of the trunk.
Yeah.
And can you see if they have the breakfast stuff? They
Yes.
probably won't, but
Again, I don't think they did as of a month ago, but I will double check.
okay. I mean, he's not terrible. He could be a lot worse. So, I mean, it's not bad, all things considered. For fuck's sake, hold on, you guys. Sorry. Like I said, mother-in-law is back. And she kept knocking at the door, and I'm like, you gotta give me a minute. Gotta get up. It's not like this is something new with us streaming. Alright. So we will get that darkened up a little bit there. Drop of water on the ferrule there. I was afraid it was gonna either flick off Alright. And then she wanted to sit in here and pet the dogs. I'm like, I'm in the middle of the live stream. She's like, I'll be quiet. I'm like, but the dogs won't. Suzu will probably start barking. I can't have them barking during the live stream. People's ears, man. Like, come on now. Think of the people's ears. Wearing headphones. With an unexpected screechy bark. Because Zuzu's barks can get kind of ear piercing, even when you know it's coming. Alright. So we'll just kind of doing our feathery brush strokey guys. There was a little bit of some white feathery action here. Now the back edge of that won't be that noticeable. Once we get the background popped into place here. This might need one more pass on him as far as the white is concerned. And I'm gonna need to get a little bit more white paint out of my bottle here. Because I'm out. I mean, he doesn't look too derpy. I've done derpier things. I mean, I know the beak's a little exaggerated, but we'll see just how exaggerated it is once we get the background in. 'Cause it's a little hard to see the beak in its entirety at the moment because it's kind of blending in with our background color a little bit. So yeah, probably one more layer of our white paint here. And then we'll probably be good to start working on our little top of our pylon that we are standing on. So I'm just trying to kind of shade this side in. I probably went a little too dark there. Although maybe not. I might try to maybe lighten that guy up just a little. All right, let's grab a little bit more of our white here. I probably went a little too dark there. Just a bit. All right, let's see how that does. All right. Get the water off of there that's kind of hanging about. Like, it's not that I mind the brush strokies in here. That's okay. I just wanted it to be a little bit more polished. than it necessarily is. In fact, I might grab a little bit of this light gray and a little bit of our white here. Just to kind of bring up our outer edge here. Just a little bit. Just to give them a little bit more of some definition, a little bit of a shadow on that under edge. Now, a lot of this might not really be visible. Once I come back in here with the white just to layer up on top of it, just to tone down our light gray there. It'll probably be a little visible through the somewhat transparentness of this particular paint. So I'm going to try to work that to my advantage here a little bit. I mean, it is a little bright. The little bit of gray I've got added in there. So I just want to try to mellow that down a bit. Alright, so we get a bit more of our white, and I'm kind of trying to come up to the edge pretty close without like completely disappearing that little bit of gray there. So I don't need a stencil for everything. We did freehand this guy. There. So you can still kind of see the gray streaks that we popped into there. They're just a little bit more subtle now. Not quite as in your face. So that's good. All right. And then we'll get this section here worked in. Alrighty. So yeah, I mean you can see it. It's not showing up as much on camera as it is in person. Oddly, but oh no, it's showing up okay. So we got that. All right, now let's see, where was my... All right, so we're gonna take cocoa. Oh no, you know what? I need, before I do that, need our khaki tan. We gotta give him some leggies to stand on. All right. Sure we're good and shooketh. All right. That was probably too much paint. It was like 2 drops. Too much, too much. All right. I don't want to use for our leggies. We'll go with this guy. I actually washed the palette last week, or the last time we used it. I kind of had to because the watercolor was on there. Alright, so my leggies are probably much too thick. But this is how thick my leggies are gonna be. It's just the way it is. Now, I could, in theory, take the leggies down and try to paint them down here, but I'm not gonna. That is an option. Like, if you really want to. But that is a level of I don't think I want to deal with right now. I mean, we could attempt it. I suppose. I just don't know that it's gonna go all that well. And we still have a background to put in here. So I don't really know. He's kind of got like, it'd be a very tall, be a very tall boy that we are gonna pop in here. Right, because I kind of need to pull it down a little bit so it's not right on the edge. It's kind of like it comes down a little bit. And then like in a little. And then like it's really bad feet. Like really bad. I'm really bad at bird feet. Okay, the other one's a little bit flatter. Kinda, sorta. Why do I hear the Doberman up here? I need to check on that. I shouldn't be hearing the Doberman up here at all. Just give me 1 second. Alright, sorry about that. I had to find out what the hell was going on. And, apparently the mother-in-law decided to go to Walmart. But she took the Doberman with her. The Doberman can't go in Walmart, so that means she's gonna leave the dog in the car. I'm like, you need to stop doing this. It's not, like, blazing hot today, but somebody's gonna break and open her window one of these days. My really bad. My really bad feet here. It's okay. We'll we'll add a little something something to it here in a minute. I might need to get some more black paint out here for that. You guys kind of see what I'm doing? Sort of. Sort of see. Oh, my mother-in-law is something else. She's not. I don't believe she's inherently spiteful. Like, I don't think she's doing it out of anger or hatefulness. I think it's just the way she is, that she's just a thoughtless, fluffy brained person. Like, the husband had to get his issues from somewhere, right? Um, she doesn't think before she does anything. In her brain, there's really no consequences for stuff that she does today, it seems. Like, I don't know how else to describe it. Like, the consequences for things she does today are a different day's problem for her to worry about, it seems. If I'm even describing it right. I might not be. Alright, and we're gonna use espresso. And I'm just gonna kind of do some rings here. Although this might cause us to run a little bit late because I still have to do our background. Oh my god, now the phone is ringing. That was a spam call. Or an advertisement for something. Solar Solutions? Or some such. Right. Let me rinse that. So I'm working bottom, well, side up because that's completely dry. Because it's just going to be a little bit easier. So this is that brush that I'm not a huge fan of, but it's thin enough where we can kind of get something to work for us here. So I'm beginning to think that maybe I should have maybe grabbed our dark gray. Alright, so I need to grab some of our taupe here, which is what we did our leggies in originally. And I just kind of want to go over the edge of our leggies here a little bit. Just to kind of help clean up our lines here. thought she was going to Walmart. What's she doing back? She wasn't gone that long. Okay. Not the greatest leggies, but there is some black on those leggies. Okay. So let's grab some of our cocoa here again. And we're gonna start to fill this in. There's no way she made it to Walmart and back that fast, running in and getting something. She doesn't. She didn't even really have any money to spend at Walmart, so unless her sister gave her the cash. So my mother-in-law treats overdraft protection almost like a cash advance on her next Social Security check. I kid you not. She will overdraft that thing because she has overdraft protection. She's like had to borrow money from one of her sisters before to put in the bank when the bank started threatening to close all of her accounts if she didn't put money in there immediately. And they've done that a couple of times because it was sitting in the negative for that long. Like I said, the consequences for the things she does today seem to be a different day's problem, if they're ever a problem at all. She had to have speeded, or she turned around and came back. Only thing I can think of. Alright. So I'll probably put this one in the art giveaway as well. Alright, so we have a couple more rings to go here since you can just barely see that one. Like, I just wanted to have some kind of something for him to be standing on here. Can't even really see what I'm doing, sorry. Alright. So we'll keep going on this guy. He needs a couple more rings, I think, before we move on to the background. Like, we want to at least be able to make out what this is in the background, like from the top. All right. So we'll get that put into there. All right. Let me rinse that. Like, I don't have to necessarily fill in the sociological. I don't know who the hell you are, but you're being reported now. I'm so sick and tired of seeing people advertising this website. Like, I've just had it seeing this website. But do keep coming into the channel. Keep making new accounts. Please do. I will just keep on banning you. Because I am so sick and tired of seeing it. Alright. The problem is, I don't know how far I want to take this up. Since the majority of it is going to be on the bottom. Probably needs like one more round. More than likely. Like, I had it a little bit higher up, but I don't know that I necessarily need for it to be that high. I originally wasn't going to do the feeties, right? So it wouldn't have mattered as much. So I think maybe we'll do this ring. And then we'll do the edge of it. And then we'll like bring it down here. I'm kind of okay with the underpainting with the underwash color. Seeping through this part. Like, I'm kind of okay with that. Oh, why do I have a... Sorry, the husband messaged me back about something. He ran to the store. Yeah, like I'm okay with this like reddish orange color kind of seeping through on that. Like that's okay. Alright, we can kind of see him standing on something there. We're only looking at it from the front. It's just I took the tail over the edge, so then I felt weird not doing the same with the feet, just having them hang off the edge. Right, because then it just kind of becomes like a weird thing. Where it just kind of seems like he's just kind of hovering. And didn't really want that. All right. So bring this guy to there. All right. So now I'm gonna kind of have to bring that down to there. And maybe that down to there. Sorry. Just realized I probably wasn't fully in the frame. Okay. So I'm gonna probably grab some of our taupey color again, or possibly some of our cocoa that we did the interior of our little wood pylon dock pylon thingy pole here. And I might mix the two together just a little bit. Oh, hey Zorts. Thanks for the resub. I appreciate that. How are you? Hopefully all is well in Zortsland. That's good. That is very good. We're just working on attempting to paint a seagull. And I know it's an unpopular opinion, but I kind of miss the bastards. Yes, they could be annoying. But after moving to some place that's been landlocked without them, I genuinely kind of miss them. Because you could actually kind of see their brains working when you sit and watch them. And I know that sounds ridiculous, but them and pigeons. We don't have pigeons here either. We had a plethora of both, especially in the city. Pigeons everywhere. Here we kind of have those like gray mourning dove things. Want that a little bit darker. Sorry, I'm just mixing a paint color. So what's on tap for you today? Is it a work day? Is it an off day? Work. Boo. But at least it pays the bills. So only kind of like a half boo. Only a half boo. Right? Gotta keep a roof over the head. Gotta keep the utilities on. We're having somebody to come look at our oven tomorrow. And I hope they manage to fix it. Because we use our oven a whole heck of a lot. And I hope this doesn't involve us getting a new oven already. We've had this range for about a year. And I don't know what's wrong with it. I don't know if there's something wrong in the electrical board that's telling it to be an oven and what temperature to go up to, or if like the thermostat sensor went and now it doesn't realize it's hit the temperature it needed to hit. I don't know what's going on, but it was going crazy. And it was just getting hotter and hotter and hotter. And then we started to smell like a weird, like plasticky melting smell. And I'm like, yo, that's coming from the oven. And the husband's like, no, it's not. It's coming from outside. I'm like, it's coming from the oven. I was like, those coils in that oven have never glowed that bright before. There's something wrong with this. So he didn't believe me at first, and we turned it off. And we went outside to see if the smell was coming from outside. And there was a weird kind of smell out there. So he's like, no, no, it's coming from outside. And I'm like scared to death of like a fire in the house because, you know, then we're fucked. And so anything that makes a remotely strange smell on it, I'm like extra like, no, 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 this is dead to us now. And with my anxieties, I'm just like, no, no. And so he's like, he convinced me that it had been coming from outside. He's like, no, no, it's from outside. I'm like, yeah, there was a weird smell outside, but I'm not sure I'm fully convinced. So then I didn't need the oven for dinner after all, so I was just gonna make the dog some chicken nuggets, and then we decided to not do that. Because he hasn't been feeling well the past couple of days, and being super picky about what he was eating. So then I'm like, all right, well, then he was being picky about still being hungry after he had his dinner. So Ross was like, all right, fine, I'll make him chicken nuggets. He went and turned the oven on, and I was in here doing something. I might have been video editing. I don't know what I was doing. And he came in and he goes, so don't be alarmed. There is a smell coming from the oven. I've opened the window, I've turned it off, I've got the oven open and a fan blowing to try to A, get the smell out, and B, cool it down faster. And I was like, oh, Jesus Christ. That stove, that range oven cooktop combo was hella expensive for us. And for this to be going wrong now, not not a fan. Not a fan at all. So I'm hoping it can get fixed. But we also have to have them check the wires on the back and make sure none of the wires melted. I mean, we could still use the stovetop. The stovetop's still working okay, as far as we could tell. But I will say that the past couple times we used it before it went super crazy, excuse me, I had been standing in front of the stove, the oven, cooking while the oven was on, like we were having french fries and burgers or something. And I remembered thinking, man, this oven's like really hot. Like it felt like really hot standing in front of it. So we don't know if the sensor just went to say, "Hey, you're at the right temperature that we told you to be at," or what. Because we don't really have the money to replace it. And I might not be able to do SeaWorld in November after all. Multitude of things have happened since we had kind of planned it. We hadn't made any reservations yet, but we'd been planning about it. There's a family medical issue going on, not with me or Russell or my mom, with an uncle that has sprung up. And we don't know if we're going to have to take my mom to Florida sooner than November. We just don't know at this point. It kind of depends on what happens with said family member. My brother had his heart valve replacement surgery or whatever he had going on. I don't know. Nobody tells me anything as to what exactly it was. And he seems to be fine with that. He's home now. So that's one thing at least. But the last we heard, or last anybody bothered telling me, was that the uncle had to have another CT scan because the first one they did, they were supposed to have it done on one day, and they were supposed to get the results like that day or something, but then they're like, oh no, we can't do the results until like think it's supposed to be done on like a Friday or something. Oh no, that was a PET scan he had to have. Um, but they couldn't give him the results right then. And they're like, well, we can do it on Monday or Tuesday. And they're like, we're not going to be in town on Monday or Tuesday. They had to go up to New Jersey for one of their grandkids' weddings or whatever. And by the time they got back and talked to, like, they got called and were told what the results were, they're like, yeah, you should be able to have surgery. And we're like, okay. So then they went and talked to the surgeon, and the surgeon's like, well, we need to have another scan done because you need to have another, like, CAT scan done. So he's like, um, stuff changes quickly with this. And it's been enough time now. Like, I think it was a couple of weeks. They're like, it's been a couple of weeks. I don't know if things are still the same as they were when this one was done. And I'm not sure if I can still do the surgery on you, so now you have to have another one done. And if that one looks good, then we have to do surgery immediately, like as soon as possible. Um, that was the last I heard anything about it. So I don't know what the status of that is at this point in time. But if the surgery isn't successful, the type of issue that is going on with him, she might need to go down and have a visit with him sooner than later. Because it's not something that's going to have a good outcome if they can't do the surgery like they want to do. So we'll see what happens there. But at this point, with the way shit keeps happening, I think we're just gonna nix the SeaWorld idea and just go to the beach and pick up seashells. As much as it burns my ass. Everybody else gets to go do their nonsense. I have to be real careful here. Around the edge of this. Husband has his first Shadowrun session that he's DMing tonight with this group of people. What time do you need to eat by?
I'll figure it out.
Well, I mean, if I'm cooking for you, I needed to know.
I didn't think you were cooking for me.
Well, I mean, it's kind of what we're all having for dinner. Zort says hi.
Hi, Zords.
He says hello in case you didn't hear him. What did your mother want you for?
I don't even know. For her, the bill information.
The bill information.
The bills that she's gonna pay?
Oh, I didn't think she'd gotten paid yet.
She was asking ahead of time, I think. Let's see. She does that.
Because I was in the middle of the live stream.
I know. What do you want from me?
No, no. And she's like, looking for you. And I'm like, I don't know. You're in the bathroom. You're in my mom's room or something. You were getting ready to go to Sam's. And she goes, oh, well, his car's still here. And I'm like, well, then he's in my mom's room. And she's like, okay. And she goes to sit down on the bed with the dogs and she starts being fussy at them. I'm like, I'm in the middle of a live stream. I told her this when I opened the door. She's like, it's fine. We'll be quiet. And I'm like, the dogs won't be. Which is why she ended up coming in there. I'm like, Jesus Christ. This woman does not know how to sound control. I think that's why the outside cats keep taking off whenever she comes near them because they're not used to her having not been here. And she's like screeching, here, catty, catty, catty. I'm like, you gotta slowly work your way up to them. Can't go full blast when they're not used to you. No, I mean, he's not so bad. I mean, the beak's a little weird, but I'm gonna switch to a bigger brush here in a minute. It's just, this guy's easier. So how did you fare in the weather? Did you have any of that bullshit this past week? I saw you were in some tornado watches. But I didn't know if you had actually had to deal with any of it. A couple of thunderstorms, rain, when that's about it. Well, that's good. We actually weren't. Did we have a tornado warning? No, we had some around us. I'm trying to think back. It was a long week of weather. Um, we had a couple of special weather statements. We had a few severe thunderstorm warnings. But all of the super super nasty parts of it were all to the east of us. Thank goodness. I mean, not so good for them, but I feel really bad for a couple of those towns that were just constantly getting warnings, tornadic warnings, severe thunderstorm warnings, just like one right after another. As soon as it expired, they were issuing another one. I was like, oh my goodness. People in those towns. And then a couple of the towns that got hit by that, what was it, an EF3 tornado that they had on live stream, that the one storm chaser got a little too close on. Um he that same town, like, the next day was getting tornado warnings again. I was like, oh my god, those people. I was like, that's awful. No, I ended up we went to we walked down to the closest slightly overpriced grocery store here in our town last night to get something. And a section of the sidewalk that I've walked many times, we suddenly realized had a crack in it with part of it like sunk down like in the middle of the square of concrete. Like if this was the concrete, then the crack was like in the middle. It wasn't off to the side or coming from the side. It was pretty much in the middle with part of it like jutting upwards. And rolled my ankle on it. Would have fallen again, but Russell was close enough I managed to grab him. I still have the huge scab on my knee from when I fell 2 weeks ago. That's still sore to the touch, like bruise sore. And today, my ankle's a little swollen. This ankle has been rolled so many times. This is the third time I've rolled it in the past 2.5 weeks. I don't know what my problem is lately. Oh no, it's the second time. The other time was the other ankle. That's right. Um, but that was almost not a good situation. It's a little uncomfortable. It's a little stiff today. Of course, the more I'm walking around on it, the more uncomfortable it's feeling. Yeah, I know. I probably shouldn't do that. The first time I did it to that foot 2 weeks ago, I didn't realize that I was quite so close to the edge of the sidewalk at the park that we took the dogs to. And I didn't realize that in that particular spot, the ground and the sidewalk are not the same height. So the sidewalk is sitting slightly above the dirt in that section. And took a step because I was trying to see where a loose dog had gone because we didn't know if we needed to try to catch them or if they were going to be a problem for us with our guys. And rolled my foot off the edge of the sidewalk. Hit the ground on that one. Like it felt like I fell in slow motion. And then I rolled my right ankle and then my left knee slammed down into the walkway. And then like a couple seconds later, then my hands hit the sidewalk. I'm like, what just happened? As I'm like trying to process what the hell just happened. And Russell's like, are you okay? I'm like, I don't know. Give me a minute. I'm suddenly on the ground when I wasn't on the ground before. I need a minute. And skinned the hell out of my kneecap. That bitch. Oh. That stung almost for a week straight. Maybe a little bit more than a week. That was bad. It didn't bleed a whole lot. It was kind of seeping though. I was surprised I didn't like, and on that one I was surprised I didn't screw my ankle up at all. I didn't. Sorry, I'm not in frame. My ankle was fine the next day. Like I didn't feel anything. Didn't hurt at all. And I'm like, just my knee. And I'm like, okay. This time though, I didn't hit the ground this time. But I've rolled that ankle real bad before. I rolled it one time when I was running to try to catch a bus that turned out not to be the bus that I needed. And the shoes I had on had like a really hard, almost plasticky bottom, it turned out. And I stepped on a stick, and the stick off balanced me just enough where my ankle rolled, and then I had to walk on it because I was trying to get to the mall. And because I was trying to get to the mall to get a haircut, and by the time that was the first thing I did once we got there. It was like about a 45-minute bus ride there. And then after I sat in the chair for like a half an hour, Okay, somebody picked it up. I went to get up out of the chair, I almost fell on the floor because my ankle had ballooned up that badly. I probably should have went to the emergency room on that one, but I did not have insurance because that's when they had laid me off, and I was actually getting my job back like within a few days. They were rehiring me. My boss had finally gotten my job back. Because my immediate boss, I should say, he's not the one that laid me off. He told them that I wasn't supposed to have been laid off, but they did it anyhow. He was pissed. That was when I was at the casino. And our bedroom was in the basement. This is where the larger finished room was. So, I had to slide my ass up and down the stairs because I couldn't really walk on it for a couple of days. I'm like, yeah, I probably should have went. But that would have involved another like hour-long bus ride to get up to the emergency room. Not something I really wanted to do at that point or had the money to pay for. All right, so I'm just kind of lining this guy and then I'll come back with the big brush and we'll get the rest of this guy painted in the background. And then we should be looking pretty good here. So this guy actually is only taking one session. I'm not sure what we're doing next week yet. I don't know. Thinking about pulling out the reference photos from some of the oil painting projects that we did and attempting to do them in acrylic. We might. This guy hasn't come out too bad. That blue is rather a bit brighter than I thought he was going to be. The blue. Hang on, I'm trying to find a brush that I think is going to work here. I mean, this guy's not much bigger. That moment when you have too many brushes. That's a glue brush. I guess we can try to use this guy, at least for some of it. But I thought he was gonna be a little bit more like a little bit darker when it dried. And I guess it did dry a little bit darker. I suppose. But, I mean, not bad for craft paint. I mean, we did alright, I think. I'm just hoping we can get this oven situation sorted soon. Because this is gonna put Easter dinner into question. Like, we have a little toaster oven, but I can't really make dinner for everybody very well in there. I can kind of make do in a pinch if I need to. But I'd rather not. But I saw the reviews on a cheaper version that we originally wanted, but they didn't have in stock left. And that somebody talked about the same sort of issue with that one. About how the oven temperature was 50 degrees off. And like some of these people, the way they talked about it, it's like, you've never cooked on electric, have you? They're like, oh, the burner comes on and it gets hot and then the burner cuts out and then it comes back on. I'm like, yeah, that's an electric stove. That's what happens. They're like, I can't boil my pasta like this. It has to be boiling for X number of minutes. And I'm like, somebody else is like, I can't make jelly like this. It has to be boiling for this amount of time. And I'm like, the burner didn't turn off. It just hit the temperature that it needed to be and it cycled. Like, what? I'm like, maybe you just shouldn't be allowed in the kitchen. Because you don't seem to understand how this works. Just like, okay. Feels like that's somebody that's used to cooking with gas. I'm just like, okay. But for a range that cost over $700 on sale, I expected a little bit more before something decided to go wrong with it. I don't know, call me silly. Is $700 the new like 250? Like, it better not be. Spending that kind of money on that shit just for it to go tits up in a year. But we'll see. They seemed kind of we made the appointment, right? And they were originally going to come this afternoon. And then Russell's like, "Oh wait, I've got the thing." So he called him back right away and he's like, "You know what? I need to schedule this for tomorrow instead." And they were kind of annoyed, I guess, that we needed to do it tomorrow instead. And we're like, dude, we forgot we got something going on today that it needs to happen on time. Sorry. Didn't realize it. Can we do this tomorrow instead? And I'm like, dude, it wasn't even 5 minutes later that we called you back. What the hell? I mean, you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't half the time. Like, our vet actually had to post on Facebook that they're now instituting a $50 no call, no show fee because they've had so many people not show up for their animals' vet appointments recently and surgeries. And I'm like, how do you not show up for your pet surgery and not call? Like, what? They usually call you the night before or the day before to remind you, hey, remember, so and so can't have food or water after midnight. and you just don't show up the next day or even phone call and be like, hey, life happened. At least call and let them know life happened. Like, what? I could see maybe forgetting that they have a regular appointment. Maybe, but they're usually pretty good about calling and reminding the day before. But then they can't even get anybody in on a wait list because they definitely have a wait list most days for oh no, I've got an emergency. If you don't call, like at least if you call ahead of time, they're like, okay, then they'll go to their wait list and try to pull somebody in. Because not everybody lives like within spitting distance of the office. And it's gonna take them a hot minute to get there. Um, we actually had so much rain from the storms, I forgot about this, that our backyard started to turn into a mini lake at one point while it was actively raining. We had about like 2 inches of water in our planter boxes in front of our porch, which was rather impressive. Never seen that much standing water in those. And apparently, they're doing construction on I-49 on one of the on ramps in Fayetteville. Actually, the on and off ramp. And apparently, it rained so hard it washed out part of the road of the on ramp, and people were still trying to drive through it. And like 6 cars, apparently there was like massive pothole where the road was washing out, and people were still driving through it. And 6 cars ended up off to the side of the road with really bad flat tires, and people were still trying to drive through it. And then it ended up being like almost 10 cars before RDOT and the cops were told what was happening and got out there to shut the on ramp down. Speaking of, was that all better now, or did you have to go to Weddington? Husband. Hey,
Hmm?
how was the on ramp fixed?
I didn't see any problems with it.
Oh, they must have fixed it then.
Again, that I don't think that was the on ramp, dear.
No, no, people in town were saying that picture I don't think was the right spot, but people in town were saying they had gotten damage on their cars going through there. And that there was a bad pothole on the exit ramp too. But they probably fixed it. A railway bridge washed out, I think they said in northern Arkansas, while a train was sitting on it. I'm like, oh goodness. That's a problem. There was a bunch of flooding in Memphis on the interstate interchanges where there was some like underpasses and stuff, and the underpass was flooding, and cars were still trying to drive through it. Like the lanes were slowly being eaten up by the water on this one camera, and the cars were like, "No, no, I'm fine." And then it was like down to like one lane, and then the one lane it was like coming up the doors on the cars, and they were still trying to drive through it. They the one weather live streamer, his people that were searching for cameras for him to put up on the stream ended up calling like a non-emergency number or something for that area, and they're like, "Hey, you know that there's water like across this lane here, and the cars are driving through it, and it's like halfway up their doors." And they're like, "Oh no, we didn't know." So then they had to go out and I think, what was it, Tennessee dot, TN dot, whatever, T dot is what they call themselves. That's right. They had to go out there and start shutting down sections of the interstate going through Memphis because the flooding was so bad. So I'm like, yeah, people keep driving through that. You're gonna be the next news story, being having to be rescued from your car. Like, like that's a wise decision. Like, I don't think the insurance is gonna cover you there if you intentionally drove into it like that. And I actually thought this photo was fake with all the fake images going around. There had been a photo floating on Facebook of somebody with a jet ski pulling somebody on a wakeboard, and it said RDOT. So it had, like, supposedly had come from an RDOT, Arkansas Department of Transportation camera, where somebody was riding a jet ski pulling someone on a wakeboard on the side of the interstate. And the angle it was at, I was like, oh, that's fake. Like, yeah, okay. Really bad Photoshop there. It wasn't fake. Because one of the news stations, actually, it might have been, was it Tulsa that ended up with the news feed, the video feed? There was a video of it in real time on the ground that had been shot. And from that angle, no, that was real. That was totally real. And I'm just like, the hell? What? Who thought this was a good idea? That water had to be so nasty. Like, people think it's all fun and games until they get, like, a MRSA infection. Y'all, don't do that. There is so much oil and road residue and in that water coming up off the roadway that's just sitting there. Don't be wading through that if you can help it. Plus, you don't know what's in there. Could be shreds of, like, semi tires. Those things mean business. They've got, like, these huge ass metal cables running through them. It's like, okay. Wouldn't advise that. And there was a few towns, a few bridges around this town that they had to close down because of flooding. They didn't have to close down the main bridge, but they also did have to close down part of the actual road that was in a lower lying area between us and one of the next towns over for a little while because it was going underwater. We needed the rain though, so I mean, can't really complain. We were in a drought. We're in a pretty bad drought situation, so I am happy that we got some kind of rain here. Because all things considered, it had been a pretty dry winter, especially with all the burn bans that we had been having and all that nonsense. Now, it did drop to, like, almost freezing last night. We were under a freeze warning. But it's supposed to go back up into the 70s tomorrow. When we were out last night walking to the grocery store, some people had blankets tied around the tops of some of their smaller trees in their yard. I'm like, I don't know what that's gonna do, but okay, good luck with that. Because all of the trees were like, yeah, it's spring. Let's be polleny and start budding and doing our leaves and everything and all those stupid white flowering pear trees and all that had happened, and then winter's like, not so fast. I'm not done yet. Alright, so I just want to get the edges here. Because it is a kind of like a gallery wrap. It's a chunky boy. So it wouldn't necessarily need to be framed. A bit of a chunkster. Alrighty. But I don't think he came out too bad. All things considered. I mean, first time I tried to ever even draw a seagull, let alone paint one. I mean, we could try to do a pigeon next. But I don't know. We might pull the gouache out, or I might do another acrylic painting with one of the reference photos from one of the oil paintings. We might do that. Maybe one of the oil painting magnets that I did over the summer, do an acrylic version of it. That's on a piece of canvas that's not a magnet. That sounds like a plan. Since I've got a few of these smaller guys. So this was several, what was it? 1, 2, 3, 4. I think this was a set of 6x6s that I had gotten on clearance for like under $5. We like us a clearance sale, if the clearance price is right. Some clearance prices aren't really a deal. Sometimes you have to gamble and see if it's going to come down any further. And sometimes that works in your favor. And other times it definitely does not. Alright, I actually need a little bit more paint here. So he's kind of plain. We didn't do much of a background on him. Actually, the background's a little splotchy in spots. It's a little thin here. But I really didn't want to go real heavy on the background on this guy today either, so is the sides dry yet? This side is. Pick this guy back up just a little bit. I mean, you can see that that did dry a good deal darker. Oh gosh, holding it up like this, I can see all of the bits that we missed. That side's not so bad. It's just the paint got a little bit thin in that spot. And you know, it is craft paint, so there's certain sections probably gonna need a little extra touching up here and there. And that's okay. Like that section, that entire section's gonna need a little bit more. Like, I'm not going to do the very back in the blue. Although, maybe I should, because it does look a little funkified back there. But I kind of need the rest of it to dry first before I can flip it over. Alright, I can work on that off stream. As I just smeared a whole bunch of paint, I think. That's okay. It's contact paper. It'll either wash off or it's contact paper and it won't matter. We protected the desk surface this time. We've learned that lesson. Although that was a very strange desk that felt like it was a cardboard layer of finish for just painter's tape to be ripping that off. That was very bizarre. I mean, for all I know, the contact paper, if I end up removing it to replace it, might do something. I don't know. We'll see. Alright, so there is our Seagull guy. So what's Russell's final derpy scale determination on it?
Can confirm is derp.
Bad derp or
Just derp.
I mean, it's not bad for the first attempt.
No, it's not.
Like he's okay. He's a little bit of a derpy boy, but he's all right. So, tomorrow we'll be back working on the needle felting. Again, I'm probably going to start a little bit early tomorrow. Because we also have the repair people coming. This is how far we've gotten on that. We got the sky in and we got the ground, the base of the ground in, and we're starting to put in the shadows of our shrubbies for that magnet. And then on Wednesday we will be back in Planet Zoo working on our walkways for the bears, getting them all spiffied up and figured out. I did go through and turned climbing off on everything in the zoo that wasn't supposed to be climbed on. Like on the wood I was using to trim out the buildings, I didn't realize I had climbing turned on it. And Russell's like, yeah, that might also not be helping with the chuggy. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I did go back and do that. It didn't take me as long as I thought. We left the climbing objects on for the bears, don't worry. Those are okay. But yeah, I'm kind of glad we got this guy done. We got him done faster than I expected, honestly. But no, he's not so bad. So there is our free-handed seagull in his overly large beak because I can't do bird beaks to save my life. But, you know, it's okay. It's okay. So I will see everybody tomorrow for needle felting. I do have a new game that we're going to be playing on the YouTube channel. We're going to do a playthrough of Honey, I Joined a Cult. I didn't realize the husband had it in his inventory. He didn't realize he had it in his inventory. Must have been part of a bundle and he didn't realize it. Because I was gonna buy it and then I saw he had it and I was like, wait, you have this? You didn't tell me you have this. And he's like, I don't have that. And I'm like, it's in your library. I just downloaded it. And he's like, huh, okay. So we're gonna do a playthrough of that. That'll show up on the channel as soon as Bear and Breakfast wraps up. I finished Bear and Breakfast. The videos just haven't finished all going up over there. So make sure to follow the socially links down below. And there's links there that will take you to the Ko-fi, the Instagram, the Blue Sky, because that's where we're at now, and also the YouTube channel as well. Now, I'm uploading on the channel right now every other day. It gives me a little bit more breathing room for getting some stuff done, so I don't have too many gaps in there, but Yeah, right now we are on upload every other day over there, and a lot of it's the live stream archives. But Bear and Breakfast we haven't live streamed. We were strictly playing that just for the YouTube channel. So you'll have stuff that'll pop up like that over there from time to time. And also when I'm away, we'll just have stuff straight popping up over there instead of over here. So I will see everybody tomorrow. Thanks for popping in. Thanks for the resub source. I do appreciate that. Um, have a good night at work. And I'll see everybody tomorrow for needle felting. Until next time.